this video I'm going to show you how I use the grid technique to accurately draw a photograph onto a canvas. This technique is especially useful when painting pet portraits, as it's important that the painting looks just like the animal. I use this technique all the time and it's the easiest way to make sure everything is in proportion. So to start out, I've printed the photograph and I am making marks at 2 cm intervals. You can make the intervals at any size you like, just remember that the smaller the size, the more detail you will get. It will also depend on the size that your printed picture is. You can also do this technique without a printer. I'll show you how to do this in a minute. Once you have marked all 4 sides, connect all of the points both vertically and horizontally to make a grid. I'm using a black pen to make sure that I can see the grid over the photo. To do the grid technique without a printer, you can use an iPad or a computer to make the grid digitally. Here I'm using Procreate and I'm editing the drawing guide to create the grid. You can adjust the size and colour to get it exactly how you want. My grid is 8 squares across. It is important to note how many squares your grid is in order to do the calculations later. Now you have your grid on the photo, we can start to create the grid onto the canvas. My canvas is 10 inches wide and my grid is 8 squares across, so to get my calculation I do 10 divided by 8, which is 1.25. This means that my intervals for this grid will be 1.25 inches. So I use my ruler to mark out 1.25 inch intervals on all 4 sides of my canvas. This time I'm using a pencil and I'm only drawing lightly as I want the grid to be easy to erase later. I will show you a technique at the end to easily erase your pencil marks on the canvas. And just like before, I'm joining the vertical and horizontal marks to create the grid. The finished grid on the canvas should match the grid on your photo. Place your gridded photo next to your canvas and start drawing one grid at a time. Only focus on the lines and details in the square that you're working on and ignore the rest of the photo. This stops your mind from trying to guess where the next line is supposed to go and keeps the image in the right proportions. I've started in the top left-hand square and I've just copied exactly what I see in that same square on the photograph. Then just repeat this one square at a time until the entire picture is finished. To erase the grid, you can first try using an eraser, however this often doesn't work on canvases. If that doesn't work, get some soapy water and cut a small section off of a sponge. Dip the sponge into the water and squeeze off the excess, then just use the sponge to wipe away the pencil lines. Then just use a dry cloth to dry the canvas afterwards. This is the best way I've found to erase pencil lines on a canvas. Once you have finished your drawing and removed the grid lines, you can start painting. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions.